All right, gloves off, but not too mean. We're talking logos, not livelihoods. Think of this as a roast with seatbelts. You and me, late night hockey talk, bad coffee, scrolling through old jerseys like they're your ex's Facebook. Some of these marks deserve love. Some deserve a timeout. And a few? Well, they deserve to be put in witness protection with a fake mustache and a new area code. Quick promise before we start. This isn't about your team's history or your favorite player. It's about lines, shapes, balance, readability, and whether you can tell what the thing is from the seats in the rafters after 2 beers. It's design talk, friendly, spicy, and a little chaotic. Ready to be mad at me and then quietly agree? Let's skate. The Islanders Fisherman. We want fish sticks! You knew this was coming. The Gorton's Fisherman era is the NHL's jump scare. One day, the Islanders had the clean NY Long Island crest, the kind of mark that ages like leather. Next day, boom, a cartoon fisherman in a slicker holding a hockey stick like he's late for a cod auction. The problem wasn't just new, it was new without testing. No focus groups, no fans in the room, just a surprise drop. And then the New York Daily News leaked it early and roasted it by comparing it to the frozen seafood box. Once that nickname stuck, game over. The crowd chants wrote themselves, "We want fish sticks." Design-wise, what went wrong? The character felt generic. No visual shorthand for the aisles, no geography, no smart negative space. The palette was fine, the concept was not. Fans weren't mad at change, they were mad at a costume party. And once opposing rinks weaponized the joke, the brand was cooked. You can almost hear the boardroom conversation. We need energy. Okay, how about fisherman? Approved. Buddy, read the room. Would I wear it today as a retro novelty? Absolutely. It's so wrong it looped back to right, ironically. But as a primary mark, it never told the truth of the franchise. Lesson? If your new logo launches with a nickname you didn't choose, you're already killing penalties. Question time. The first time you saw it, did you think hockey team, or did you hear a foghorn and smell tartar sauce? Be honest. The Sabres Buffaslug. Speed, power, and fluff? The original charging buffalo with sabers is elegant, balanced, deadly. Then 2006 happened and we got a yellow-horned mystery. It was supposed to say speed and power, but it said furry cashew. Anatomical clarity? Gone. Back edge? Missing like it forgot to render. Proportions? Asymmetric to the point your eye keeps sliding off it like it's coated in oil. Fans revolted in organized fashion. Petitions, websites, memes. Even Dominic Hasek said he was shocked. When your Hall of Fame goalie is startled by your logo, that's a sign. The backlash got so loud, the team had to bring back throwbacks mid-era to calm everyone down. A year later, they were winding it down. By 2010, retired. Design problem in plain terms. Silhouettes matter. If you can't recognize it in black and white, from distance, on a tiny screen, or with a quick glance, it fails the logo stress test. The buffa part kinda read, but the slug part won the day. Round, soft, and weirdly unfinished. Tell me you didn't see a guinea pig with horns. I'll wait. Here's a hot take you can fight me on. If they just refined the original charging buffalo instead of reinventing the animal, this never happens. Sometimes the best new is do the old properly. The Stars Muterus, ambitious for the wrong class. Intent? Represent Taurus the bull in a celestial sophisticated way. Outcome? A shape that the whole league immediately nicknamed Muterus. Look, saying the quiet part out loud is awkward, but the crowd said it first. If a mark reads like anatomy class before it reads like hockey, you've lost the shapes war. The tragedy is the ambition. They tried for smart symbolism, constellation, starburst, black alternate swagger, but the geometry produced a central negative shape that millions of brains instantly mapped to biology. Once the meme hits, you can't claw back meaning with press releases. The jersey lasted 2 seasons, and even that feels generous. Design lesson? Abstraction is a weapon. Wield it carefully. If your abstraction spawns a universal association that you didn't intend, the logo becomes that, not what you hoped. You don't get extra points for a clever explanation if the public reads something else first. Be honest, did you ever see Taurus? Or did you see the nickname the second someone said it and now you can't unsee it? Same. The Hurricane Swirl. Is that A toilet? On paper, Eye of the Hurricane is a cool idea. Circular energy, force, tension. On fabric, the primary logo read like a swirl without a story. Critics and fans alike threw out the toilet flush joke, and again, once a crowdsourced nickname anchors perception, you're skating uphill. It wasn't threatening, it wasn't distinctive, it was a movement with no identity. Then came the flag patch. Credit for trying to be accurate with weather code, but for a while it was a single storm flag, not the two flags that signal a hurricane warning. They fixed it later, now it's two, but the visual is still busy for a small application, and the theme, We're Literally Weather, stays tough to nail without looking generic or like clip art on a forecast. You know what would help? A hurricane metaphor that's unmistakably hockey. A recognizable, hurricane-specific shape fused with a stick, a puck, or a triangle of negative space that screams Carolina from the nosebleeds. The current set is fine, and fine is the enemy of iconic. Pop quiz. If I turn the primary swirl upside down mid-game, would you notice in 10 seconds or in 10 shifts? Exactly. The Blue Jackets' original flag tangle, CBJ or CJB. Expansion teams love symbolism. The Jackets went deep. Ohio's swallowtail flag wrapped into a monogram with 13 stars nodding to the colonies, team name referencing Civil War regiments. On a research deck, that's an A+. On a chest crest at game speed, it read like CJB. A flag spiral and a sharp point that didn't resolve. Overworked, overstuffed, underlegible. Fans don't have time to solve a puzzle. A logo needs a clean read at distance and a clever read up close. This one asked for a decoder ring. The later Canon Identity did a better job. Simple, punchy, recognizable, but that first go-round is a case study in less please. If you ever trace that mark with your finger trying to find the B like it was hidden in a highlights magazine, congratulations! You conducted a real-world usability test. And the test said no. So what actually makes a bad logo? Let's pull the emotion out for a second. I know, sacrilege, and talk fundamentals. Clarity. You must be able to tell what it is, immediately, at any size, in any medium. Silhouette first, detail second. Simplicity. Not simplistic, simple. Reduced to the core. If the story only works with a paragraph of lore, you designed a patch, not a logo. Balance. Weight, symmetry, negative space. If your eye keeps tripping on a corner or sliding off the back, the geometry's wrong. Testing. Fans aren't focus group enemies, they're the stress test. A 5-minute survey saves you a 5-year embarrassment. Originality that respects heritage. New can honor old. Evolve the DNA instead of swapping species. And yes, readability in the wild. On TV, in the rain, on a 5-year-old's mini-stick, on a hat at the airport. If strangers nod in recognition, you nailed it. But I like them. Good, I love that for you. Nostalgia is undefeated. The fisherman on a throwback night? Electric. The Buffaslug on a funny t-shirt? Absolutely. Here's the difference. Something can be culturally beloved and still be a bad logo by design standards. We're separating the icon from the identity system. Here's the controversial part. Lean in. A lot of teams get scared of boring and sprint toward novel. Then they trip. The best marks are often boring at first glance. Clean shapes, obvious metaphors, strong type. They age into greatness. The worst ones demand attention on day 1 and beg for mercy by year 3. Rapid-fire rebuttals before you dunk on me. But the fisherman is fun. Totally. As an alternate. Not as the face of a franchise that literally had a perfect NY map lockup. The Buffaslug moved merch. Yeah, for 2 years. Then the throwback outsold it in the same building. That tells you the audience voted with their wallets. The Mooterus was creative. Yes, creativity without legibility is modern art, not sports branding. The cane swirl isn't that bad. Also true, it's not bottom of the barrel bad, it's aggressively mid, which is worse than fun bad because you can't even laugh at it. The CBJ flag teaches history. Awesome. Teach it in the arena, the content, the secondary marks. If I need a syllabus to read the primary, we fumbled. How to fix a bad logo without torching fans' hearts. Keep the soul. If there's a historic monogram, a skyline, a mascot shape fans love, don't delete it. Update the geometry, not the essence. Build a robust system. Primary, secondary, word mark, sleeve patch, anniversary lockup. Give the brand room to breathe so the main mark can stay simple. Stress test across contexts. Embroidered on a hat, screen printed on a youth tee, stitched on a jersey, rendered in one color for community clinics. If it fails in one context, it's not finished. User test for nicknames you don't want. Get 10 brutally honest fans in a room and ask, what does this look like? If you hear seafood, anatomy, or toilets, abort. For the love of forechecks, get the proportions right. Create a version that reads at 16 pixels wide and at 16 feet tall. If the Islanders announced the Fisherman as a full-time primary tomorrow, half the league would buy it ironically, and the other half would rage buy it ironically. Merch sales would spike. 2 years later, they'd crawl back to the original because greatness beats novelty over 82 games. If Buffalo had never slugified and had simply modernized the charging Buffalo in 2006, they'd be top 5 in the league for brand consistency today. Quote me, if Dallas revisited the Taurus idea with cleaner geometry, a truly minimal bull profile, and star integration that avoids, well, you know, they'd have a banger. Keep the ambition, fix the read. If Carolina committed to a single iconic hurricane visual, one that even your grandma would clock as Hurricane without the Weather Channel, paired with the two-flag patch as a proud secondary, their set would jump tiers overnight. If Columbus had launched with the cannon from day one, we'd be talking about them as a brand leader, not a brand learner. Final word, a little mercy in the madness. Teams don't set out to miss. They try to push, to refresh, to capture a city in a shape. Sometimes the leap clears the creek. Sometimes you splash and everyone laughs for 20 years. It happens. Fans forgive misses faster when teams admit them and fix them cleanly. So yeah, these 5, they live forever in the NHL's design blooper reel. The fisherman that fed the memes, the Buffaslug that launched 1,000 petitions, the Mooterist that launched health class jokes, the cane swirl that swirled nowhere, the CBJ knot that tied itself. But they also taught the league something priceless. Clarity is king, silhouette is sacred, and fans are not the enemy. They're your editors. And if your team is cooking up a rebrand right now, here's the best advice in one line. Make it so obvious a kid can draw it from memory, and so smart a designer smiles when they see the negative space. Now, who's brave enough to rank their own team's logo out of 10 in the comments, with one sentence on how to make it better? Winner gets bragging rights and my eternal respect. Loser gets a fisherman jersey for Throwback Thursday. Deal?